So this week we are meeting with CDCP.
CDCP, which is Certified Direct Care Professional, is what that stands for. So Casey from the CDCP program, we are a little familiar with this. Well, we're a lot more than a little familiar because we are working with our members on and registering as employers. So it's I'm really interested in this because I'm really trying to dig in lately about where are the applicants?
Where are they?
Where are they?
Yep.
And I think that'll be something we can kind of go into after we talk with Casey and give our thoughts on that. But they have put together, I believe it's a grant program for caregivers who want to get certified. And then there's like up to a $500 bonus that comes with it. And then there's a registry. They get added to this registry after they complete the course. And then any employers can go on and have access to that registry. And there's a lot of self-direction geared towards self-direction and that.
Very
So it's
cool.
awesome. So
Yep.
yeah, we can, we'll have the opportunity to meet with Casey and learn more about the CDCP program.
Yeah, I'm curious. When this program went live many moons ago, I was nervous because they were making a really hard push to make it rule that you had to be certified to be a caregiver. That made me really nervous because not everyone has the means to do the training, even though it's a free right now it's a free program. That still just made me nervous. Like, is it app-based? Do they need a computer? Do they going in person? Are you doing lab? There was a lot of unknowns when it first went live, so that was a concern of mine. That's since been squashed because if that was going to happen, it would have happened years ago.
Yep.
I think this is just another layer of training, and which I don't think is a bad thing.
No.
It's from the feedback I've gotten, it sounds an awful lot like the CBRF trainings.
Yeah.
It's like a really nice overview of what it is to be a caregiver.
Yep. Which is needed. It is needed because we are noticing not all caregivers are coming into this field with experience.
Nope.
They're coming into it because they have heart, because they have passion and they want to do good, but they lack the experience. And as we have found going into some homes, the nice thing is you get to train them based on your preference, but some of them preferences are a little
bit
rocky.
out of the box. Yeah.
a little bit
rocky.
different.
Yep.
But that's their choice, right? So having just that basic knowledge of how to keep yourself safe, how to keep your participants safe, it does go a long ways.
And I'm curious if they speak on or train on like any ethics, boundaries, any of those things that go into like being in people's homes or dealing with people's intimate cares, like that kind of thing. So that I'll be interested to learn that.
Yep. Even just that basic of having a different washcloth for privates and face,
God, that's common sense, but it comes up a lot.
It does come up a lot. It really does. And if you've never had any training, if you're new, sometimes common isn't always common.
No. Yeah. But that does come up quite often, like way more often than it should. But that is really good information to have. And maybe some of it is probably a lack of general knowledge on like what the repercussions are with risk of infection.
Yes. I think that's a lot. Yes. Because if you can be told, no, don't do something, but if you don't understand why, I always tell people, put yourselves in their shoes. If you were the one being cared for, how would you want this to go? Right. It's no different than doing it for somebody else. So putting yourself in their shoes and then determining, do I want this washcloth on my face after you just
even just wipe my feet?
Yeah.
My feet to my face. That's a hard no for me.
Opposite. Go the other direction.
Yep. Top to bottom, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I am seeing quite the shift in just work ethic, in finding good qualified people. And this is nothing new for us. No. We always dance. We always do this dance. We always do this pivot. But finding like, where are these people? Job boards right now, we know are stale.
Oh, they're so stale.
We get that. And we don't rely on that solely. social media is picking up, but the follow through is hard. I'm testing out the waters with TikTok.
I did see one of our TikToks came up on my For You page. Yep,
Good,
I think it was someone in the other region, one of Shauna's.
Oh, Kayla.
It was Kayla.
Yeah, she was brave enough to do a video for
looked
me.
Great.
And I just said, do a live job post, like, hey, I'm hiring. And she was brave enough to do it.
It ended up on my For You page.
Good. I did one this morning about hiring support brokers. And so I started it last night, and I was trying to find the right tunes to it, of course. And Alex goes, Mom, don't post that. And I said, why?
Was the lyrics right?
No.
Oh.
He took the whole thing away. And I said, what? I had to start all over again. Because I'm like, he goes, Mom, TikTok is for entertainment. It's not for people trying to find jobs. I said, I get that. But I started doing this marketing method of putting just education tips about self-direction on TikTok. And we get more views on that than we get anything.
Yeah. Well, like, entertainment is in the eye of the beholder. What's entertainment?
Right.
Like, pretty much anyone talking to me is entertainment. I love going to TikTok because I love listening to people's stories.
Yeah.
So the stories of someone on our caseload who needs a caregiver is still a story.
Yeah.
I think presentation matters, and it's like, I think that's very personality driven. Are you funny? Are you quirky? Are you?
Yes.
You know, like, that's where the entertainment, that's where the bite comes from. Like, it's all on the presentation. But I still stayed and listened to what Kayla had to say. Yeah. I was interested.
Good. Yeah, I put it out there, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for fellow healthcare burnouts. Like, I allowed that personality to come out because that's what we trying to get everybody on that same page. More personality, the better. Don't look like the same job post time after time. If you look at any job board and you search caregiver, you're going to see a lot of very similar job posts, regardless if it's Community Horizons, if it's residential, nursing home, whatever it might be. They're all very generic.
They're the same.
Put personality into it. We want to see personality. But lately for us, like, normally we target healthcare burnouts. We target people.
They make the best support brokers.
Yes, they really do, because they're living a life in residential facilities that are burnt out. They know they're burnt out, but they don't know any other way. They don't know that they can use this passion and still help somebody in a different role, but still have a life beyond work.
Yep.
So that's where I'm like, it's getting harder to target these people. So I'm gonna try TikTok and just try to find different polls. But the phone screens that I've had lately blow my mind.
Yay. That's awesome.
Because the only thing they're getting out of this is work from home.
Oh, yeah. Not blow my mind, but still blows my mind, just in a different way.
So twice this week. One wanted to do homework. Because I'm like, what interests you in this position? Well, it's a work from home, and I'm in college and I can do homework. No, my friend. No.
And honestly, we've been there. We've had college students, and we're all for education, but this is a priority job choice. Like, it can't be this can't be your side hustle.
No,
it just doesn't work. The passion's not there. The priority is very evident that it's not there.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been there, done that.
Yep. And the second one was, I don't want to get childcare, so I need a 100% work from home job. Well,
I've attempted that before. Like, on days where I don't have someone or the kids are sick, that is a miserable day.
It's hard.
That is a miserable experience. So I don't know why anyone would think, like, I can give 100% to two different things and feel good, because it's absolutely a miserable day. Yeah. It's the most miserable thing. That's not a situation that I would choose.
No.
And maybe they just don't know that yet because they've not experienced it. But, like, having a kid that's not complying because they're a kid, but also having like 16 phone calls to attend to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not fair to know to anyone. It's not fair. So I look at all of this as, okay, what are the challenges? What do we need to pivot? Because our keywords that we used to pull people in are no longer working.
Nope.
So I'm thinking, like, back during COVID days, you didn't have to travel as much. You weren't allowed to travel sometimes, especially in this field. Yep. They got comfortable working from home. and wiggling a mouse
Yep.
every
Every
so often. Where now I feel like there's a shift, not only in the industry or in the culture, but there's a shift altogether. I was told this week from an applicant that, believe it or not, work from home jobs are harder to find than they used to be.
That's a lot of people are bringing people back to the office.
Yep. But I mean, I do get that, but we have such a structure that travel is required. In home, in hands-on assistance is what we thrive off of. So we're not changing that.
No.
Just that ability to
it
travel
is like
and pivot.
I don't even know if maybe the keyword is just changed. It's not really a work from home job.
No.
Our office is in our home. But really, if you are working, it's a community-based role.
Yep.
Maybe it's a community-based role.
Yep.
It's not a work from home job. Your office is home, so you print your papers at home. You start and end your day at home. But it's a community-based role because really, if you're working your caseload correctly, you really should have one office day and be in the community the other days. And maybe not for a full 8-hour day.
Right.
But I would say, like, with the size of our caseloads right now, at least 2 home visits is practical 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like, probably a little bit on the low side.
That's my favorite part of the job.
I love hanging out with our people.
I think what we have identified is we're no longer advertising work from home. We're no longer advertising that perk. We are advertising in person.
And see what happens.
From there, because there's definitely a shift in the culture. They're not our culture. There's a shift in recruitment strategies, which we're very aware of. There has been 8 years. Oh my goodness. I can tell you, it started in social media, then it went to job boards. Now it's going back to social media driven, and eventually it'll go back to the job boards again.
And it will ebb and flow.
Yep.
And it was come and go. And I think a lot of it comes down to like advertising dollar and how expensive these job boards have gotten to properly use their platforms.
Yep.
It is mind blowing.
And you know what is really making a comeback?
What?
Newspaper ads.
See, and I'm all for that. That's cool.
Yes.
I remember being like 14, 15, looking for like those part-time and circling things in the newspaper.
Yes. Maybe we need to do an ad like that. We need to show somebody circling an ad. And then I was so excited. Like, I keep telling our team, check with your local newspapers, and they're so affordable.
They are.
They're so affordable. You can do
it's
an
all
ad.
Of like, it's under $15.
Yeah.
I think the one in Sturgeon Bay that we ran was like $7 or $8.
Yep.
And we got like 8 leads out of it.
We just did one not too long ago, $4. I'm like,
that's
are
affordable.
you sure? $4? She goes, yeah. I'm like, $4 for a week ad? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, cool. Sign us up. Yep. Sign us up.
Yep.
So it's digital, yes, because a lot of times you can also get put on their digital websites.
That's how it was in Sturgeon Bay.
But a newspaper ad, smaller communities, they still read the newspaper, like a physical newspaper. You're not going to get your younger generation to jump on that bandwagon. They're technology. They're on the platforms. Yep. They're on the social media. But yeah, I'm just trying to... We're used to this pivot. We're used to this song and dance, but I'm trying to be creative. Where else are we pulling people from?
Yeah.
Because, it's making sure our members are still getting the traffic flow. So that way they can still get the help that they need.
Yep. Keep it coming in. And I think we had like a down point when the boards really changed for us. But just like all things, it creeps back up. But yeah, I think we never lost our trickle. Like, we never lost the flow. It was just slow. You can definitely tell that there was a slowdown.
Yep.
And then the dam breaks and everything comes back online.
I had a couple of members say the job boards are dead. I said, you are absolutely right. They are. And that is not our strategy. Nope. At no point should anybody be posting a job and waiting for applicants to come to you. Yeah,
that's an old game. It can't be played anymore.
Remember, we interviewed somebody, and one of her strategies was carrying business cards. And if she saw somebody, like if she went through a drive-through and somebody was miserable, they're like, "Hey, maybe this will be a better fit." That is brave.
That's brave.
That's bold.
Yep, but also not awful.
No, How often?
Or if you're just walking around and like if I were to pass someone who like helped a homeless person on the road pick something up, like I would be like, you have a caring heart. Like,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you.
You want to be a housing counselor.
Yeah, I know you need this job, right? Come on over.
Like, let me introduce you to this.
Yep.
Because yes, them are the type of people, and sometimes they're just what we have learned is not everybody knows this world exists. Hardly anyone knows this world exists.
No, because they are somewhat out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see them with their caregivers. A lot of time, it's happening in home for the most part. Sometimes you see them in the community, but the caregivers that we have, they look just like normal friends going with our members to appointments. So you wouldn't know because they don't arrive in scrubs for the most part. So
that's one of my favorite questions when caregivers ask, like, what do I wear? What's the dress code? Street clothes?
Yep. Whatever you're comfortable getting, you know, showering someone in, and you can move about. I've seen some very questionable outfits. I'm like, the slippers will never like breaking my brain. Like, I don't know why you would want to shower someone in fuzzy slippers, because that's like a sensory nightmare to me. So
like in the shower with them.
Yeah, like
in fuzzy slippers.
Yeah, like in the facilities, like they would show up in fuzzy slippers. I'm like, no, like I just don't see that working out for you today. Like that's gross.
And talk about a tripping hazard and everything else.
Yeah,
on top
or
of
like the boots too.
Yes,
fuzzy
boots and stuff.
Those are too expensive to get wet. I'm sorry.
People would show up in them and they're like, they don't fit, first of all.
No, they're slouchy.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, let's try again. That doesn't look good. Or is that going to be safe? That's not safe footwear.
No. And gross.
Gross. Yeah. I mean, just imagine like body fluids are getting on.
And it just soaks it in.
Yeah.
Just wicks it up and becomes one with your shoe.
Yeah.
Nope. No, thank you. I used to wear my Crocs because you could wash them, and I would wash them and leave them outside. That was like my favorite. Yeah.
Do you know why we have part of our dress code, no leggings?
No, but I wear them like daily. You know that, right?
You wear black ones though.
I do.
So it never used to be in our handbook. I added it because I had a support broker. She was new, a couple years back. She showed up. We were doing a home visit. And this gentleman was very conservative, very professional. She showed up in hot pink leggings with rips down her legs. And I sat there before we went in and I contemplated, do we leave? Or do I take her in? I took her in.
Oh, boy.
He did great.
Did he?
He did great.
Well, I'm sure he was very distracted.
He looked at me a couple times, but he did great. After that, she kind of disappeared. Oh. Yeah. So she showed herself the door, but I'm like, I wish you would have did that before I took you into that home visit.
No, that's a bold move.
I'm like, oh no, because to me, you're in a professional role. To me, that's common sense. Like, let's wear professional clothes. I'm not asking you to wear a business suit. I'm asking you to be comfortable. We're going into somebody's home. We want to blend in with the community. We're not holding a flag saying, hey, we're helping somebody in their home or self-direction. We want to blend in. I wear jeans all the time. Yep. I love jeans. I'm most comfortable in jeans, and you can dress up jeans.
Yep.
But after that, I soon learned that was not common.
No.
That was not common sense to everybody. So I added no leggings. I think right now it says black or leggings if it's under a long shirt or a dress. For that was the reason why we have that policy.
That makes sense. Yeah, that was probably a good policy to place in there. The rips, though.
The rips. And that's what... Okay, I probably could have gotten over the hot pink.
But then you have...
That's a decision.
I've had people show up in, skin-toned leggings. So, at first glance, you can see every bit of cellulite, their butt crack. And I'm like, oh man, that was a choice this morning, wasn't it? Oh, my word.
I'm just... That is not my choice. I would never, and
we have to do a double take to make sure they have pants.
Yes. Wait a second. Hold on. I was at... I'm not going to say where. I was at Walmart. I'm not going to say what town. And I came across a lady who was no pants, no underwear, just a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And the worker looks at me, and to make it worse, she was in the toy aisle.
Oh.
Yeah, and she went to go grab something, and that's how we realized she had no pants on. And the worker looks at me and she goes, "She's not wearing pants." I said, "Yeah, you should go say something to her." Like, and I don't think they did.
Probably not. Everyone's probably horrified.
Yeah, and I'm like, at least get her out of the toy aisle.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So to me, I mean, everybody makes choices. I don't understand everybody's choices. I don't have to understand everybody's choices, but what we have learned throughout these years is we have learned how to pivot.
Oh man, yes.
How to add things to our policies. We add on to our policies and pivot around them.
As things come up and as we learn. I mean, really, 8 years in business is still a baby.
Yeah.
And we grew really fast.
We did.
And like things were just going to naturally have to change with having more than 2 staff members, or even the 4 that we initially started with, you know, before we kind of blew up from there. But yeah, we were going to, and we have seen probably all the things that we have seen all the things that are in a typical business at this point because of the amount of people that we've had. And that for us, that's meant an uncomfortable amount of turnover. Mm-hmm. It's not abnormal though. It just is uncomfortable because we are so small and it's harder to absorb in a small business. But it's we are not unique to turnover. It is not unique to Community Horizons. That is just part of working with people. Yep. They move on, and a lot of our individuals, it's always been a good choice. They've moved on because they had something better going on, family situations. Yep. Or it just wasn't a good fit. Not a good fit. It wasn't a good fit.
Yeah. And that's something we are very strict about, is we're not settling. We have very high standards, and you have to meet them standards. And we can identify and that's okay if it's not a good fit. Like we have some that if it was just in person and there is nothing to do behind the scenes, amazing. Yep. But unfortunately, that behind the scenes is what gets you to in person. Exactly. And that's where you have to keep that progress moving forward. So it goes in hand. So yeah, it's very rare that we've ever had a split with an employee that has gone bad.
No, for the most part, it's always been either expected, talked about, or just for the best. Yeah. And it's never been like nasty. No, we've never had a nasty like turn of events. Like we've had issues getting equipment back, but that's more logistical than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, we still have people that follow us. So we still have people that call us.
Well, we're getting referrals.
We get referrals from people.
Yeah, from our old staff members. Like, so that's crazy. Like,
to build that relationship and be like, you know, we're all adults, and that's how everyone should be treated. We're adults, and it's okay that if it's not the right fit, it's okay that, you know, it wasn't the right time in your life. We had a couple people that came back to us because it wasn't the right time, and you and Emily were 2 of them. Yep. Yeah. So I love we had somebody come back and apply a year later. It wasn't the right time for her last year. Still not the right time for her this year, but she still remembered us from that interview.
Wow. And she liked the concept enough to keep coming back when she sees a job opening.
And she goes, well, maybe next year.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Come on back. Yeah. In the way that we're growing, we'll have a need. We'll have a need that can be, you know, met with, you know, through whatever skills and talents you bring to the table, especially if you're passionate. That's really, we can't teach the passion.
No. I'm looking for integrity, passion. Recruitment experience is nice because starting from scratch with that is really hard. It requires a lot more training.
Yeah. A lot more hands-on. It's fine, but
and confidence. When you have that, you're more confident, because if you're going in and you lack that confidence, and you've identified that this week, if you lack that confidence with somebody, they're not confident in you to do that job. Right.
And they pick up on it. Like I think it's maybe a little human nature to not understand that our members, they have all day to pick up on cues for the most part. So they have all day to think and to decode. And so when we walk into the house and we clearly don't know what we're doing, they know about
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
they know about it.
Well, and they're hiring us for a service.
Yeah.
We should know what we're doing.
Yep.
If we don't, we're gonna learn together.
Yep.
We're gonna figure this out. But you have to have that confidence behind you. If you're not confident, they have no confidence.
Yeah. And that's
in you.
that's what I learned this week is like,
Yeah.
and I wish that I would have known about it sooner, but because you can identify things,
Mhm.
but no one wants to be rude. Like,
No.
But it does. Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes you do have to fake it till you make it.
Mhm.
You just do. And I don't,
Yep.
and I think that's probably a personality trait of mine that I've always just kind of been like, cool, I'll do that. Like, let me try, I'll do it. And so I just have that's just my personality, but not everyone has that. And I think some people are a little bit more afraid to make
Yeah.
mistakes. And I'm afraid to make mistakes too, but I'm a lot more curious and confident to try.
Yes. I go in it as, all right, we're going to figure this out.
Yep.
We got this. We're going to figure this out
Yeah.
together. Because there are things that we don't know. Take the fiscal side, for example.
Yeah, which is
Payroll.
what my whole week has been.
Okay, so we don't have access to portals. We don't have access to go and play around and figure it out. We have to figure it out in person with them because we don't have a provider portal. We don't have an employer portal. We don't have an employee portal. So we have to be alongside with you to physically see it and work through it with you.
Yeah.
Can we work through it? Yes. Do we call the experts when we don't know? Yes.
Oh, for sure.
You call the fiscals. It's their system. They're the experts on it. But without that confidence piece of, all right, let's figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the situation that I had early this week. It's like, ugh, and then we did it wrong the first time. Didn't know we weren't doing it right, but like, oh, cool, we'll just do it again.
Yep.
We'll just do it again. We'll do it again the way they asked us to because that's what we do. So we just keep going.
Sometimes I think of us as gophers.
We are gophers.
Like, you just tell me what you want and we're going to go do it.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yeah, that's how it is on the housing side too. It's like, what obstacles do you have? I'm just gonna go ahead and remove those for you, and then we're just gonna keep on going.
We had a win this week.
What one?
A big win. So there is a member who is transitioning fiscals, and she has a large staff that everyone had to do their own individual packets to get over and things like that. And I have not been involved until this week just because I was asked to go pick up a packet. So I got to go road trip. And I picked up the packet, I sent it over, and between the communication and the teamwork between this fiscal and our team and the MCO, unreal.
That's amazing.
Unreal. I'm like, oh, it does exist. It happens.
Awesome.
And this is how I vision it every single time. Use us as your gopher.
Yep.
I need this packet. You got it. We're going to pick it up. We're going to fill it out with them. We're going to submit it. We're going to communicate. All we need is that communication piece. And I slowly seeing it coming to light.
That's awesome.
And
that makes me happy.
Wow.
It's taken us a while to get that cooperation.
Yeah. But we're getting there. Like, everybody in the industry they want to work hand in hand. That's what we have learned. So it's learning their process, learning our process. How can our process adapt to yours? Forget about our process.
Yeah, like
that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll adapt to whatever your process is, and making sure our team understands that. Because I can tell you, everybody involved benefited from
getting that done.
Well,
and
it was a big process.
So everyone was probably paid on time then, because the other ones that I worked on, because there hasn't been so much teamwork, people don't get paid on time.
Yeah. We're working on that as well.
Yeah, because they have to process all the paper. Oh, it's so dumb.
Well, and that's the thing.
This week on like government processes, I just
government process.
Oh God!
Speaking of, LinkedIn right now is going crazy over this new work rule for Medicaid.
They're doing a meeting for it.
Because even if you don't fall in that category, apparently there's more paperwork to be done to prove that you don't fall in that category. So now all of our members that are on Medicaid services may have to do some additional paperwork to prove they don't have to work the 20 hours a week to keep that benefit.
Yes.
Well, how many people? And then it's systems. If you are requiring them to do additional paperwork, then your system best adapt to their ability to do it.
It's not going to. And the other thing about that is that they did something changed, and so everyone lost their opt-in, opt-out on how they want to get their communications. So you have to re-opt in.
Oh, we do have our guest.
Good morning.
Hi, Casey. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Now you're loud and clear.
Excellent. Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So I'm Cindy. I'm the one that we've been going back and forth with for email. And this is Jamie. She's one of our regional managers with Community Horizons. So we are a support broker agency in Wisconsin, and we work a lot with the CDC programs with the members, getting them set up with as employer registration and accounts. And so I'm really excited because this just gives us even more knowledge to go in and transfer back to them, and giving them like, what are the benefits? Where did it all start? And
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm always happy to talk about it. So any questions you have or anything that I can let you know about it, I'm here for that.
Well, I guess, how did it start? Like, how did this come to be?
Yeah, that's a great question. So obviously for the two of you and anyone that you work with, it's not a surprise that there's been a caregiver crisis looming for a long time. I always joke, my mom was an adult protective service social worker that retired just a couple years ago. She did it my entire life, and her social work problems in college were my social work problems in college, right? They didn't change. This wasn't a surprise that we don't have enough caregivers. But what happened during COVID is it obviously exposed how deep those cracks in the foundation were. And so the federal government responded with the American Rescue Plan Act, or the ARPA funding, and said, hey, states, we recognize that you have a direct care worker crisis. Here's some money. And the federal government doesn't do that very often. And so DHS decided they had to act on that. And truly across the country, there really aren't standardized trainings for direct care workers. They exist for CNAs who work in skilled nursing facilities or in hospitals, but it's kind of the Wild West for training when we talk about direct care workers. Even though the majority of caregivers are direct care workers, they are not working in a nursing home or a hospital. They're working in an assisted living or in somebody's home, if they self-direct their care, or if they're on, or whether they self-direct their care or not. And so DHS had all of this money, and we had a partnership at UW Green Bay with them on a different training registry project. And so we came together as kind of a natural fit, and we started exploring through a CMS collaborative. We started reviewing what trainings already exist within Wisconsin, so we weren't duplicating efforts, because we don't want to take away someone else's bread and butter if they're already doing it well. We surveyed over 500 stakeholders and caregivers to say, hey, what are you missing? And we reviewed the statements of deficiency from organizations like the Division of Quality Assurance, who manage the regulatory side of things. They go in and say, hi, is this assisted living doing what it's supposed to do based on the law? And if not, they take a look at where they're deficient or they're lacking, and they then assist them in correcting those things. So we did all of this research and developed 14 different competencies over the course of that research, along with 30 free hours of training that is all online, and our micro-credential program. So I don't know what questions you have about how the program looks now, but that's kind of the impetus for where it started. We got this money. Wisconsin has been at the forefront of long-term care trailblazing for a long time. I think probably since long-term care has been a thing that we have within the states. And so this is no different. This is Wisconsin kind of taking the ball and running with it to show what is possible for other states to do.
Okay. When did this roll out?
July of 2023 was our first training class, or our first opening of the training. So we're in our third year. So we have our first renewals, actually, because it's a 3-year certification. So our first renewals are coming through right this month, actually.
Very cool. Does the training coincide or replace any of the CBRF requirements?
That's a great question. It does not replace the 4 core department approved requirements that are offered through the UWGB training registry. However, it does meet the 15 hours of continuing education requirements, and that's under the Administrative Code Chapter 83, which is what the state says, hey, this is the law that you have to follow in your CBRF. And so we meet the 15 hours of continuing education that's required every year.
Okay. So for the full 3 years that they're certified? Oh, very cool.
Yep. And we do meet the training requirements for 1 to 2 bed and 3 to 4 bed adult family homes, and all but 2 of the requirements for an RCAC at the initial training. And we meet all of the continuing education training for them as well.
Wonderful.
And this is at your own pace, right? So
it is. Yeah.
100%
online at your own pace. Yep.
Okay.
No requirement for when people finish it.
Okay. So what does that...
We know caregivers have a lot going on.
They do, because that's one thing that we talk about UWGB, and they're like, oh, do I have to drive to Green Bay? And I said, no, I believe it's all online and anybody can take it. Anyone inspiring to be a caregiver can take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that course look like as far as like curriculum? Is it basic? Is it...
It's foundational. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's foundational would be the best way to describe it. Basic, it's the beginner's version of what does caregiving look like. And it's specifically targeting that community setting. So in-home care and assisted living care. There are some more nuanced pieces that I was at an aging and disability resource center for almost 10 years in Brown County. And then I was a long-term care ombudsman. So I had a lot of advocacy. My entire career has been in advocacy. And so I had a lot of strong feelings about working or providing training on the nuanced things, like how do you deal with a surrogate decision maker, right? You're the caregiver caring for the person. Those are the rights you have an obligation to protect, but you're also the person that often has to confront maybe a disgruntled family member or a concerned power of attorney. And so understanding kind of where rights start and stop as far as the people you're caring for and the people that might have decision-making power, that's something that I saw as an ombudsman all the time.
Yes,
those are complex roles that people are just signed into because they're like, hey, I think you're good with money. Do you want to be my power of attorney for finances? And you seem like you know a lot about the medical system. Do you want to be my healthcare power of attorney? And we know that those are very complex decisions and very personal decisions, and have a lot of rights protection around them.
Yeah.
And so I focused on, there are obviously foundational skills that any caregiver is going to need in any setting, but I really wanted to discuss also communication styles. We talk about consent and intimacy, because as a caregiver, you're the one who might encounter a consent or intimacy issue with somebody you're caring for. And that's complex, even as someone who has had many of those conversations as an advocate. That's a complex and sensitive and sometimes taboo topic, depending on your own historical background. And so what we're really proud of are those more nuanced pieces that we know are not happening in any other training that you might even get on the job, because they don't, employers don't have the time, money, bandwidth. This is unfortunately, we're trying to change this, but this is an industry with a lot of turnover. And so investing in some of those deeper nuanced skills isn't the priority. The priority is we need you to be able to help someone get dressed, help someone go to the bathroom, understand how to properly lift them or transfer them, and get you on the floor. We don't have time to help you understand what communicating with someone with dementia looks like. How do you communicate with someone who has a hearing impairment or a speech impairment? All of these things you're not going to know as a layperson, which is what most of our direct care workers are. They're just people who are passionate about helping, and were thankfully able to pass the rigorous background checking and are saying, hey, I want to do this. And so part of that is professionalizing this. This is so many people's career. This is not, we think of it as a job because we don't value it societally and from a legislative perspective. But this is, and it gives me goosebumps actually when I talk about this. So this is 1,000% so many people's career.
Yeah.
And I think that we should be elevating it and treating it as such, because I can't think of a more necessary piece of our healthcare system than the direct care workers that build the foundation. That's because without a strong foundation, everything crumbles above. I don't care if we have the best doctors in the world, if we don't have the people doing the direct care who feel competent, appreciated, reimbursed appropriately, who's staying in that incredibly emotionally taxing career.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that's why it gets treated like a job.
Yep.
And that's why people move out of it, because we don't provide them the pay and the benefits that reflect the incredibly complex and important work they're doing.
Yep.
And so that's part of our goal is let's professionalize this with certification. Let's say you are certified to do this. You know, you have proven your competency for this.
That's awesome. I have said that for a while,
Yes.
that if we want them to start acting like professionals, we have to start treating them like professionals.
Yeah.
Without question. Yeah.
Yeah, because it really is. I think it's seen as like a beneath someone's job kind of a thing, and it's just not.
Yeah.
It is absolutely not. Like I don't. If you are someone who is untouched by a person who's in need of care, you are blessed, but it's not forever. I can promise you that. Everyone
Yep.
ages.
Yeah.
Disability comes and goes as far as into families, into families, but like none of us are escaping the aging process. So you're going to need a caregiver at one way, shape, or form. And
I always talk about, disability is the only minority group, the only group we can join at any time.
Mhm.
Yep.
You can't change your race, you can't change your ethnicity, but you can absolutely go from being able-bodied to being disabled. And suddenly that's a more marginalized space to live in. And we're all one good or bad stroke of luck from a very different life, right? We're just one step away from whatever that happens. None of us, like you said, are exempt. And I'm grateful that people who haven't had to experience it yet are living in oblivion, perhaps.
Mhm. A blissful bubble somewhere.
Yes.
But oblivion evaporates
Yep.
at some point for all of us, whether it's your own health or it's someone you love.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a really awesome mission. I really like that the work is to professionalize the career path, because it should be. And I'm really hoping that in the long run it does start to change the attitude and also really help that retention piece. Because even still, we see, I think on the average resume that I personally review, every 3 months they're leaving a facility. So they're moving on about every 3 months, because that's about when the burnout happens. The honeymoon is over and the burnout comes into play.
Yep.
And it's really discouraging to people that we review resumes with, like our members, because they're like, oh, they're not going to be consistent. They're not going to be reliable. And I can understand why it looks that way. But that is and
it is true in some cases.
Yep.
Right? One thing that I think is really exciting. So I talked about the fact that we're in our first renewal phase, our first 3-year renewals. And because we're offering our training for free, one of the requirements, our renewal also for free, our training is free, but our renewal process is free, which is a little bit more rare. People usually have to pay something to keep the certification going. So as kind of a trade-off, we worked really closely with some state and national partners to create a very robust survey. So they are required to take the survey, and it goes through things like, what is your current pay? Did you become certified? What benefits do you receive? What are the things that how many jobs have you had in the past 12 months? How many of them were caregiving? How many jobs do you have at one time? Because we know people piece together multiple caregiving jobs, right?
Yep.
What are the barriers socioeconomically that are preventing you from being able to stick with your job and stay with it? And also, what are the pieces from a job satisfaction perspective? And so what we're going to do with this data, direct care workers and just people in general are very difficult to get survey data from because, and this is so this is kind of our, hey, we'll let you recertify for free as long as you give us this data. So this will be this will be the most robust look at direct care workers with this amount of data and this amount of people that exists.
That's amazing.
And so we will take that back to, I don't know if you're familiar with the organization PHI.
Yeah.
So PHI is the kind of the leading advocacy organization, lobbying organization, research organization in the nation on direct care work. So I just was appointed to sit on an advisory council for a workforce initiative they're doing in Wisconsin and New York. So it's very, they have been such a tremendous partner, but they can take that data at a national level and say, I'm pretty sure we can say that if this is happening in Wisconsin, this is happening everywhere. How do we go to the federal government and say, look at what we have as far as what is preventing people from staying in this career? How do we make those larger socioeconomic policy changes from the top down? Because obviously as a university and DHS, we don't have any, and we shouldn't have any lobbying ability. We can't go to Madison or to Washington and say, hey, we really want you to do this. But places like PHI can do that on our behalf. And so we're really excited to be able to share that data both at the state legislative level and federally to inform how we are helping to create a support net for these people that clearly want to be the foundation of our healthcare system.
That's
Absolutely.
very exciting information. And I'm curious to read the data, but also I kind of already have a good understanding of what it's probably going to reflect. And it's, wages, benefits, hours.
Benefits. Benefits are the biggest
Yep.
that we hear, because right now you're almost targeting supplemental income versus making it your sole career, which now it's your second, your third job. You're still creating burnout.
Oh, because
Right?
they're coming
Without
in
question.
burnt out. Yeah, they're arriving burned.
Yeah.
So
and then they're arriving burnt out because they don't have enough money to live. And then if they have just enough money to be above the federal poverty limits or whatever whatever the FPL is for benefits like Badger Care, and their employer doesn't offer any health insurance, that's insane. I previously worked, my first job with Brown County was in income maintenance. So I processed all public benefit applications, food share, Medicaid, long-term care, all of those. And it would amaze me and shock me and kind of destroyed me a little bit to see how people would be literally $5 over the limit and not qualify to receive food share or to receive Medicaid, when that $5 might as well not exist in their daily ability to spend it. It was so infuriating, and it doesn't need to be that way. And so this is we're hoping to tie in training with Medicaid reimbursement. That's a larger goal of ours, because if people are more trained or have a higher training level, they should be getting more money through Medicaid if they're working underneath an MCO or an IRIS consultant agency, an ICA. So I think that's my big end goal. I want that money in the hands of the workers. I want there to be more money, and I want it to go directly into the hands of those direct care workers, because that is how we ensure that Medicaid participants versus privately paying people are getting the same level of care and the same access to care. Because the reality is you can do everything right. And if you have a long-term illness, you will likely burn through your money.
Oh, so fast.
It just is shocking. So whether or not you feel like you're years off or never will need these services, I can tell you from thousands of clients as a disability benefit specialist and an ombudsman, that is not true. That is just simply not true. No. So we just have a lot of work to do in all areas, obviously. And we're really proud of it. I mean, it really is the most robust in the country. And it's one of only a few in the country. And we've had a lot of national reach, which has been very exciting.
Yeah, I love that. And then the other part of this would be the database. The certified employee. People can go on the database and find qualified staff.
A registry. Yeah, we have a registry where you can search.
Which is awesome.
We also have job matching as well.
Oh.
Okay. I
So you should know about that, actually. This is very pertinent to what you guys are doing as support brokers. So I'll use there's two pathways. We have access to Handshake, which is a national university job matching platform, very similar to Indeed, but it's free because we are a university. So any employers that participate, including any self-directed people, have access to post jobs and search for candidates on that. However, for our self-directed members of Family Care and IRIS, we've created a secondary website that removes a lot of those technological barriers that Handshake has that we even don't love, and do see that is one area I would really love to enhance and explore other options. And we will when we're grant funded and publicly funded. So those are all on my to-do and wish list. But one thing we were able to do is create like a password protected website where employers who are self-directed can connect with us at UW Green Bay. And that is simply a zip code search. So we ask all the students that come through, are you interested in being added to our self-directed care registry specifically, we describe what self-directed care looks like versus agency or facility work so that they understand this is could look very different than what you may be used to. And if they check the box, if they're certified, they go on that list. And so self-directed members can just search by zip code. And all of those people have agreed to be contacted and are certified. So that's relatively new in the last couple of months. And I can send you guys that information if you don't have it already so that you can share it with your clients too. But that's something that self-directed employers have access through UW Green Bay. So you can connect them with our customer service team. There's only 6 of us and we're all in there all the time. So you do get often a human, and that human is me, answering your questions or assisting you. So that's a really exciting thing. And I'd like to replicate something as simple for all employers. Because I think there's just a lot of complexity. And I think when you are asking people that are already in a very strapped industry and a very a workforce crisis, taking the time to do all of the steps you need to for a formal job, Indeed, Monster, Handshake, it's a lot. I think we need to remove as many barriers to training, employment, or like finding employment matching, and to, career laddering and growing your career, while not sacrificing, obviously, the quality and the regulatory pieces. Those are still incredibly important checks and balances, but I do think there are barriers to eliminate that just improve all of it for everyone, and ultimately then improve the quality of care, which is everybody's goal.
I agree. We do a lot of assisting members on the job boards, and I can tell you, excuse me, I can tell you that Handshake is one that it does prevent some, because of the barriers. It does present.
It's a lot.
It's not built for individuals as employers.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying there's a lot more clicks involved to get the job live.
And then it's going on, if you're not knowing which university to put it under, it's going under different ones. But the employer registration on UWGB, that's been going so smooth. Like, that is a lot smoother than going through the Handshake portion of it. And they do, we always tell everyone, it's, even if you put your zip code in, there's a lot of little communities. There may not be any matches now, but that doesn't mean there's not matches down the road for somebody who takes the course.
And there could be, if you know the zip codes around where you live. It could be that they're not right directly in your zip code, but maybe they live, I'm from rural Wisconsin, so it would have been nothing for me growing up to drive 20 minutes to go to work. I did do that. And that was a completely different zip code in a completely different town. So I think that is another kind of tip and trick. Handshake is just simply not built for individuals as employers. It's built for large scale employers. And so that's why we created this separate self-directed spot, so that people who are self-directed have the same access and shot at finding employees who've specifically said they're interested in that type of self-directed caregiving. Because that's what our program was created for. It was created for those people who are receiving some sort of home and community-based setting service.